horror movie?
What?
Let's make a horror movie?
I wonder what we'll be like then. Brains in jars, I'm going to guess.
We're a long way for God now, son.
Slowly
Coming out of his mouth.
Crawling out of his
that's
mouth,
fucking
stretching
cool.
his skin.
Nice. So he doesn't save them, the bridge goes down, people die, and he's like, oh well, job done. Clarence?
Can we try take two again?
Yeah. All I'm saying is maybe don't trust sentient hats to make life-changing decisions, but...
Thanks for your correspondence, J-Tops.
Welcome to Let's Make a Horror Movie podcast.
Hello.
That is Jonathan.
Yeah.
Or John for short, or
Yeah.
3DK. I've never played the Dane. Welcome to Let's Make a Horror Movie, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
That is John. What? That is Dave. And
Quite a crowded house tonight.
very crowded house, sir. Very crowded house. And this is the fortnightly podcast where one of us writes a horror movie synopsis or sketch and the other one contributes and feeds back, and then we pass it out to the listeners there. And then you all write in with your ideas, and we have a very jolly good old time in the next one.
Yes, we do.
Oh, it's gone all shit. It steered straight into shit. That's
I quite enjoyed it.
That's my notes.
I think keep all of this.
Anyway, look,
I mean, to be fair, last time we had Robert Durston. So, you know.
He didn't actually open the podcast, though, because I remember we talked about that. Remember,
he was late.
He was late.
Yeah.
He was late. We didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
We left him in the house with one of our friends. Don't know where they've gone.
He's a hard man to get hold of, isn't he?
Yeah. But, I mean, I haven't seen Susan since
Susan.
Durst was here.
No, I did find a note, but it wasn't in her handwriting.
Yeah, but it was signed from her.
Yeah, all her clothes were gone.
Yeah. Anyway, look, we're getting sidetracked. Robert Durst did make a small appearance last week.
And he won't be invited back.
Won't be invited back. Well, he's on trial, isn't he?
Unless we get Susan back.
So, unless we get Susan back. Maybe, well, who knows where Susan is?
And in which case, he's welcome back.
I mean, look, we don't want to cross-pollinate podcasts because
yeah.
we're doing that on Finding Susan, which the third episode of which is going up tomorrow. I think,
yeah, which is our famous true crime podcast.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
doing very well, isn't it?
Yeah, Finding Susan, Finding Suze.
Netflix have come sniffing at our door. Yeah.
Sniffing for Susan. Anyway, so yeah, look, this podcast is a horror-based podcast.
Yep.
I don't think
that's clear so far.
I don't think the guy at the beginning said that. No. Did he? He sort of just cracked straight in.
He's not. I mean, he's gone off for some gin.
He wasn't reading a script.
No.
I briefed him.
I'm not entirely sure who he is because I didn't invite him.
Well, I just assumed because he was here with Robert Durst last week, and then he stayed.
Oh God!
And then Susan obviously disappeared.
That's why he's wearing Susan's clothes.
Are they Susan's clothes?
Yeah.
I didn't like to.
That's why they were stretched upon him.
One doesn't like to.
Yeah.
You never know.
He's wearing just two of Susan's dresses stapled together, hanging over like a tabard.
Right. That's why I didn't.
And you just thought it's business as usual.
Yeah.
Come in, do the podcast. Who's this well dressed gent?
Very well dressed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a horror podcast that's fortnightly. One of us writes a pitch and pitches it to the other one, and then the other one sort of feeds back, adds to it, and then we throw it out to you guys, as the guy said. You feed back, we talk about it in the first act of the podcast, and then we go on to another pitch.
And now it's the new normal, and it's an even episode. It's my pitch. Is it number 20? Are we at 20?
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah.
20.
A score.
Shit, we should have got some trumpets and... I don't know. What else do you do? Marching band? The podcast is in 4 acts. First act, John is
feedback.
Any audience feedback on last week's
the
episode?
Normal stuff. You know what's going on, guys.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Act 2 is...
culture.
That's right. Anything that we think might be interesting. Act 3, of course, is...
the pitch itself. The fucking meat of the pie.
The meat and 2 veg, if you will. And Act 4, of course...
it's the chat at the end.
We
go over the names. We go over the concepts. The themes.
Pitched post-mortem, so quick. We probably do about 4 or 5 minutes on the pitch itself, chewing it over, adding, subtracting. Then it's a lovely name search for the title.
Yeah, where we've almost always gone with the first thing we said after a few minutes.
I don't know. Certainly last time that was true.
I'm just being cynical. But...
and then, look, sometimes there's some silly nonsense at the end about any of our other podcasts that we do.
And there's a lot.
There's a lot. I mean, it's a growing list.
We are busy.
It's not just Finding Susan. If you're new, thanks for coming. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, you will.
We should probably say you can reach us on Twitter at LMAHMPod. That's LMAHMPod.
Yeah, we're on Spotify. Same name.
Oh yeah, Spotify. Yeah, knock yourself out. I mean, you probably know if you might be listening to this on Spotify.
Yeah, you might be. Yeah, in which case this isn't for you.
Well, this announcement is.
Yeah, it's not all about you.
Podcast is definitely for you. Yeah. Anyway, look, we're getting sidetracked. Instagram under the same name of Let's Make a Horror Movie. And you can email us, let's make a horror movie at gmail.com. Mm-hmm. That and our Twitter is probably the best place to send any input or feedback you might have. Broadly
speaking, I do Twitter, Dave does Instagram, but there's a lot of crossover. It's a real mucky mix.
Yeah, it's a mucky mix. Yeah. It's a fucking mess. Oh, hello again!
Oh, hello.
Welcome to Act 1!
Thank you.
He's a loud fella today.
He is, yeah.
Still don't know his name.
He's wearing one woman's shoe.
Maybe we'll ask him what his name is when he
think I want to know.
When he pops back for the next act. So, Act 1 then, as per the rambling intro, is the section of the podcast where we get feedback on last week's pitch from the listening public.
I'm sure some people said favourite bit.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure some people
I think Stephen King said, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah,
said that's my favourite bit. It might not have been about this podcast, but I like to think it was.
I mean, I don't read all his correspondence. It's too many.
It's too much. We have got feedback from our north of the wall, Mothman educated story construction expert, J-Dubs.
Hello, J-Dubs.
Hey, J-Dubs. His email is entitled Episode 19, Full Brow. Dear highbrow and lowbrow.
It's clear which one's which.
Oh yeah. Quick one this week. I'm off to Randy's funeral.
Yeah. We haven't been invited to that. In fact, I got an invitation which said, don't come.
Yeah, well, I think we're considered to be culpable.
Yeah. I mean, that's for the courts to decide. It's not for us to get through here.
These things happen. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Stuff happens. People die.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what I said to the police, verbatim. So he says, Dear highbrow and lowbrow, quick one this week, as I'm off to Randy's funeral.
Of course.
In truth, I was like a ropeless nun this week, and real life got in my way. I do love the inference that your nun audience, or nundience, are a completely self-obsessed bunch who would only care about nun-based content.
Well, you know nuns. Nuns like nuns.
I mean, nuns are very keen on nunning, nunology, nunnyism.
Yeah.
Got any other?
No, I haven't. I would say the one flaw of nuns is that they have become slightly myopic.
But they
in the sense that they've dedicated their entire life to one thing.
True. They are a palindrome, so they have that. But of course... well
done, sisters.
Doing it for themselves.
Well, don't have to.
They got to make a habit of it.
Third week in a row for that one.
We just roll out the classics. The ones that work, they keep coming back.
It's not even got dust on it, has it?
Just don't let it settle, John. You got to keep it in. It's like keeping up football. Keep it uppies. So regarding the pitch, I was toiling to get into the swing of the cast dynamic, despite the in-depth and detailed backstory of Peebles and X. As such, I was thinking of a way to bring us more of a connection to the tourists and up the bonds between them. As much as X Bandages is likely an altruist, I'm pretty sure her commitment would break at some point in the horrific nail floor face-on-face drama.
Yeah, I feel that's a fair point.
X Bandages? What did we call her? Is he just forgotten her name?
I think he has.
I forgot her name too.
Didn't I call her Anne Bandages?
Anne. Okay, so Anne Bandages. So he says, I'm pretty sure a commitment would break at some point with the nail floor face-on-face drama.
Possibly.
So, I propose you introduce 2 tour groups.
Ooh.
Hello,
here
mate. Coming up with new ideas. Lovely. I'll just do the rest in Northern.
Well, that's how he talks.
Yeah. One, it says, do one a stag do and do one a hen do. The stag and the hen are the betrothed and possibly end up on the same tour by accident or perhaps by a stag prank. Obviously, this
I like that. That's genuinely quite good.
Obviously, this adds a lot of tension to the layers to the tale, strengthens the bonds of the key characters, and provides lots of fertile ground for pranks, trysts, and an expectation of misbehaviour.
Yeah, I like that.
These groups would be a nightmare for the guides and would allow you to provide a slow reveal when larks turn to genuine horror.
Yeah, I think that's a genuinely very good idea.
I mean, it certainly gives a lot more space for sort of contextualising the movie and the scares and, filling out all the gaps.
You could call the movie Last Night of Freedom.
Ooh, that's quite good. Yeah.
It's just off the cuff, that off the dome, that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was.
You mean you didn't have that pre-written?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because I thought you and J-Dubs had been liaising about it.
It turns out that I'm J-Dubs.
Goes, I would like to hear some more about the background of the face-on-face activity. Why is this a repeated activity? What does it achieve? Do you know what? I just thought that would be cool. Scary cool. Yeah. Like horrific, so horror.
Yeah.
But I thought, how horrible would it be to see somebody wearing somebody else you know's face?
That'd be terrible.
Yeah, and then coming after you.
In a kind of grin mockery of your prior relationship.
Yeah. It's shocking. It's very scary. Especially in a dark, underground, poorly lit setting where the lights are constantly dropping in and out. Beyond that, everything is up to your interpretation. Yeah,
I would say as well, you were, correct me if I'm wrong, aiming for a kind of real Splatterhouse kind of movie.
Yeah, I was going for a Splatterhouse. Yeah. He says the setting is immense. Dave painted an amazing picture of the vaults. They are a truly haunting place, and the pure darkness is something to behold. Great work. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
No time for casting this week. Must fly. Blah blah. Thandie Newton. Peace and love as always, J-Dubs.
Thanks, J-Dubs.
Thank you, J-Dubs. That is very much appreciated as always. And I think some cracking additions there.
Yeah, I agree.
A couple other things I was going to cover briefly. At Don't Buy This Book, which was a great handle, suggests Bad Habits, Thy Will Be Done.
Yeah.
Which was a cracking title suggestion.
I love that. Yeah, Thy Will Be Done is a fantastic name for it. I completely endorse that. Thank you very much.
For new listeners, Mission was episode 18.
I think it was, yeah.
Set in a mission.
Yes.
So, clever name. Very clever name.
Really smart. Honestly, guys, took us about 5 minutes to come up with that.
Also, he suggests then for the vaults, so the last episode, subterranean homesick horrors.
Yeah, very good.
Which I love.
That's quite a cool, because I remember reading that. I'm thinking, that's quite, because obviously you're a big Dylan head. I think that's the term, isn't it?
Yeah, Dylanologist?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bobite. Yeah, that's quite
a Dylan Millen.
Yeah, you're a real Dylan Millen. So yeah, I thought that would appeal to you. Yeah, very, very good name.
Yeah, good. Yeah, thanks, Smithy. Or at Don't Buy This Book. I don't know what people prefer to be referred to by their handle or their username. I don't know.
I mean, we've done both. So I think we're right, mate.
There you go. So, you can tweet us at LMAHMPod if you've got any better titles for any of our episodes. Or, frankly, you've got any old shit you want to say.
Yeah.
Is that us for feedback?
That's done. I think that's it.
Should we check the phones? Yeah, the phones, looks like all lines are busy, but they're all calling about something else.
Yeah, about one of the other podcasts, which, guys, we've gone through this.
I think this is Finding Susan tips.
Yeah. They've all think they've seen her.
Hello, welcome back to...
Hello.
There you go. In and out, like a fucking quick... I don't know, whippet?
Yeah, in and out like a quick whippet.
Like a quick whippet, and whippets are already fast.
Yeah, so a quick one. Fucking hell.
You can't even see them. No. That's the thing. You only see them when they're standing still, like to eat or something.
Yeah, it would keep pace with fucking Sonic at this point. It's that quick a whippet.
Yeah.
I've watched Sonic.
But even with Sonic, you can see him when he's moving.
That is true.
But whippets just appear.
You're right, he's shit.
See, this is the mistake a lot of people make, is that they think whippets can teleport. Because they're there eating, and then they're over there sniffing something, right? Like 100 yards apart, whatever. But they're not. It's just that they're moving faster and you can see them.
And you blink, one's lying back in a chair with a pipe in his mouth, thinking, how the fuck did he get there?
Well, they're all around the table playing cards.
Yeah.
You know? Act 2 then. So, cultural highlights. I've got to say, I know you've done loads of horror, so we'll predominantly concentrate on you. I, just for a bit of fun, because I think she's a great comedian. For anyone that doesn't know Maria Bamford.
Oh, yeah, she's
I've watched her Weakness is the Brand, is her new special. You can buy it on Amazon Prime.
That was the show that was in London last March, wasn't it?
The one that we saw?
Yeah. Yeah, I think... because, I mean, I know...
It might have had the same name.
Yeah, because that line's in it.
Yes, that line is in it. That line is in it, or was in it? But no, this is not the same show in terms of the content. No, it's very funny. Anyway,
I've got 2 movies. One's good, one's all right.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
Let's shoot.
One's alright is called Snatchers. Nice little horror comedy. Girl gets pregnant. Turns out it's not what it seems. In a kind of real splattery horror comedy.
In a way that you can't say without spoiling it?
Yeah, it would spoil it.
Okay, fair.
But it has got Rich Fulcher in it. And it's very good. I'd recommend.
Rich Fulcher?
Yeah, from The Mighty Boosh. The American guy in it.
Okay. Yep.
Who you hoping it was going to be in that? Julian
Barrett. Yeah. So him.
I saw Julian Barrett at the Mary Bamford show last year. All comes together. I was too nervous to say hello because he was with people and I don't want to be an arsehole. But I did stare at him for too long.
Yeah, no, that's they love that.
Yeah,
they really love that.
Yeah, because my eyes were locked.
Just especially if you're really close to them.
Yeah.
So like what somebody who's got a public presence likes most is if you're within, say, 2 meters and then your eyes just bore into them.
Yeah.
But if they do look at you, you've got to flick away your eyes like you're not looking at them. But then make sure that you're looking back at them so that they can see that you are looking back at them.
It's also important that the people they with catch you looking at them.
It's a dance.
Yeah.
It's a dance.
And then if you do it in a way where you're leaning forward as if you're about to speak.
Yeah.
So then they're awkward with their own interactions.
Yeah.
And then you just bottle it.
It's very much, it's a whole dance. It's a whole thing. There's classes on this when you become a public figure. Or if you want to look at them, you can go to the Looking at Public Figures class, which is where I learned all about it.
Of course,
I now teach one of those classes. Yeah. So we work a lot with Dexter Fletcher. He'll come and he'll come and he'll sit in, and people will practice staring at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's really good guy.
It's a real softball, isn't it? And it really gets you going with it.
I think he just likes to do it. Obviously, he's doing it as a favour to the school.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you want to know more about the staring classes or St. Eustace and the Chips, which is the school that we run largely, John and I.
I think the students colloquially know it as Creepers Peepers.
Yeah, if you want to know more about either of them, write in and we'll cover it off next week. But I'm not going to get into the hows and
we've already given this too much time. And the other film that I've seen is a really good film. A really, really good one.
Wait, so the average one, which let's say it was, let's come up with a better term than average.
It was a 7 out of 10. It was really,
fucking hell, man, that's not an average movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Right,
I laughed. There was a fair bit of splatter in it. It's a very likeable film.
1 star. That's basically, do you know what, you've got a sort of come down with me scoring system where they're like, yeah, do you know what? He was a great host. I laughed, and he was a great host. And the food was lovely. Now, I don't normally eat pork, but he done that pork belly right proper nice. And I don't normally eat pate. I don't like pate. I don't like the thing. But he had that, and that was really nice too, right? And I loved the karaoke after.
Yeah.
It was great. 6 out of 10. Anyway, so John, come out with me scores.
So Snatchers, good movie.
There we go. It's good. It's moved from average to good. So.
And the film that was amazing was I Trapped the Devil. It is in quite small production, a guy's debut film, Josh Lobo. Real simple setup. A guy and his wife go to visit the guy's brother for Christmas. The brother's been a bit reclusive. You don't really know why. Turns out that he believes that he's trapped the devil in the basement.
That's cool.
And then they're like, so what have you think you've done? They go down there, they hear a voice going, please let me out. I need to get out.
Ooh.
And then he's like, no, look, he's the devil. And explains
I love
himself.
That.
It is
what a concept.
It is a slow burn.
What a concept.
Fuck me, it is good. The direction is unbelievable. It's one of the most beautiful films I've seen for a while.
That's fucking wicked. I actually love that concept.
9, maybe 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
You love adding a score to things.
I mean, I didn't used to, but now
it feels very fixed and harsh.
Yeah,
but in a way, I'm glad that you do, because otherwise we wouldn't have known that Snatchers was actually a good movie rather than an average movie.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have known that if you didn't have your scoring system.
See, that's the thing. And now you know that, what do I want to watch? I want to watch a 9 or 10 out of 10 film tonight. Trap the Devil.
I was going to say, I feel like there's a bit of a public duty of us as a broadcaster, as a broadcaster with an international audience.
Yeah, we take
as well. We're duty bound to talk about the global pandemic that I predicted in episode 12.
Yes.
Down the mountain.
Yeah.
Because I'm a savant clairvoyant.
Yeah. You're quite a seer.
So, a lot of people have been saying, what are LMAHMPod doing?
Yeah.
Because I think people look to us as very much what they call thought leaders.
Yes. We've heard from the WHO. We've heard from the leaders. But what do LMAHMPod think about this?
Exactly.
We're the guiding star for so many.
Stock up on Dreamies. That's my main piece of advice. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dreamies are small, square cat treats.
Yeah.
But cats fucking love them.
And you also own quite a few shares in those as well.
Now imagine what you would be like post-apocalypse in front of an army of cats. Huh? Because they will fucking do anything for Dreamies.
Yeah,
So I'm saying this is not just
Yeah.
idle chit-chat.
Yeah.
So, number one, stock up on Dreamies. And here's the smart thing. No one else is doing it.
No, they're not.
No one else is fucking
No one
doing
else is
it.
clever enough.
Yeah. No one else has got the
All the
fucking
rubes out
nuts. Yeah? They don't know, mate.
Yeah.
They fucking don't know. Go around, these stupid cunts.
Yeah.
Find toilet paper and that.
Yeah.
Fucking Dreamies is where it's at. We'll have them. We'll have these fuckers.
Yeah, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
With 1,000 cats at his back. You're goddamn right, John. I will set mittens on you, claw your fucking eyes out.
Hey, really?
You'll have your wallet. Who's laughing then? 12 months worth of fresh bread.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
been a big one.
Yeah.
That's taken quite a long time, actually, to just build up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Your house smells lovely, by the way.
I've had them a week. So it turns out, I'm starting to have second thoughts, is all I'm saying. Because 12 months worth of fresh bread is a lot of bread.
I have heard that if you rotate your bread, so it stops the bonds back from going damp.
Yeah. So that's a big one. 12 months of fresh bread. Eggnog.
Yeah.
Very much for a similar reason to the Dreamies, but not with cats. But I'm sure you'll find, again, someone in post-apocalyptic times that'll probably do stuff for that.
Yeah, when it's like underground eggnog dealers.
Playing cards as well, but most importantly, we're stocking up on hats. Because, and we weren't going to talk about this now, but because we've been a bit forced into it.
Yeah.
But we need the stock of hats for our other podcast, Hats It.
Yeah.
Which is where, you and I both try on hats and we talk about how they look.
We've been doing that one for so long, I always forget about it.
And the thing is, and then the audience, it's similarly themed to this, because then the audience feeds back on, like, did they or did they not like the hats on us? But of course, all they're going on is the audio description of what the hats look like on
how
us.
it fits, how it sits, what kind of mood it invokes.
Colour, has it got feathers?
Yeah.
Has it got a trim?
Yeah.
Has it got, I don't know, has it got objet d'art on it?
Yeah.
Is it a fascinator or a hat? I mean, it goes on.
Let's not bring that up again. We just came to blows over that.
There was a lot of third wave haberdashers that got really fucking angry about that.
They did. They were furious.
So, and then we got, so Hats It actually is not at the moment on Twitter for that reason and got banned because of the third wave haberdashers. But you can still listen to the podcast, listen to us talking about hats, all things hat.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. That's how it ends.
Wow. I hope it was worth it for you all.
Well, thanks for sticking with me for the Hats It punchline.
Oh.
And welcome to Act 3.
Hello, well, thank you very much.
I mean, again, he's high energy.
He is
I
high
like
energy.
it. I like
He
it.
bounces around.
Something about he's got quite a crisp sort of English thing going on, but I can't quite place it.
But he's got eyes that carry a few secrets.
For anyone that's not familiar with how this normally works, if you made it this far, well done.
Yeah.
And this is where we're going to get John's pitch.
Okay, a couple of caveats to this one.
Couple of calves.
Got to caveat up.
No Clives?
There is a Clive.
Yes.
There's always room for a Clive, except in a nunnery.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, you can't slip a Clive in a nunnery. I've always said that. It is a fantasy story.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's good. I like that.
Get your ears around this. An actual caveat is this is either really good or utter shite. I don't know which, and I've lost all objectivity on it. My wife said it was alright, so you know.
Yeah, but then your wife has also disliked ones that we've really quite enjoyed.
I don't know what she's about.
So, don't know if that...
We're always under source, that's the problem. We all need a way of coping, don't we? We open on a flurry of panicked crows. You got your crows in there, mate.
Like it.
We pan back to see that there are hundreds of crows, all with a noose around their necks tied to a large dead tree. They screech madly as they vainly try to fly away. There is a hooded figure at the base of the tree. He lifts a white hand from the cloak. and snaps his fingers. The tree and all the birds erupt into flames. The noise is overwhelming as they panic and scream. Oddly shaped figures shuffle around the base of the tree in the shadows. You can't quite see what they are, but it's like an odd shaped sort of things. The burning birds surround the dead tree like leaves in autumn against the dark sky. The ropes burn to ash and the birds are all released from the tree and they scatter into the night sky. That's your opening.
Still burning? Or?
Still burning, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What an opening.
Yeah, it must be something magical about this.
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking that's fucking grim. And
I've tried this and I've managed 2 crows before I thought, you got to need some fucking magic on this. Okay, we cut to our main character, Josephine, or Jo as she's usually called. She's a 19-year-old woman taking a year out from university to help her ill mother. Her mother, who is called Lorraine, is in the last stages of a terminal illness. Exactly, yeah, she is quite a quiche taste. Although she gets NHS care, it is not quite enough, so Jo returns to her childhood room in the Lake District to help as much as she can. Although she's clearly missing her university friends and her lifestyle, Jo is trying her best in this difficult situation. Jo gets regular messages from her girlfriend Hannah, who visibly cheers her up, but her mum's health is getting worse quite severely and quite quickly. So these correspondence are clearly important to Jo as an escape, basically. It's like, so you get like a lot of context of her getting texts and doing kind of like video chats and stuff, and it gives her a little bit of a light in her life, but essentially she's got to go back to caring for her mum at the end of the call. And it's difficult for her. She's struggling. She's only 19. Just there's a lot to handle.
It's a lot. Too early to ask about setting or...
it's modern day. Yeah. And it's in the Lake District.
Oh, you said Lake District. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's worth clarifying these things. I mean, because
we're not from London.
She's out in the sticks.
Yeah, up at Crow Crag Cottage.
Yeah.
Nice.
We go to another young adult in his room listening to music. It is night outside. We see an orange glow by their window, of which they are completely unawares. As it increases in intensity, we see that it is a burning crow from the start. It starts to hammer against the window. The teenager sits up in shock and rips the headphones from his head. He shouts loudly in surprise at the apparition and goes to the now cracked window. So it's just sort of like banging into it, like furiously.
A cracked window?
Yeah, so it's just smashing at the cracked window, just almost like just pecking at the sort of the glass itself. Down on the street, you can see a cloaked figure staring up at him. So you can't quite see his face, but you can see from it standing, it's clearly staring at the window. The burning crow slams against the window again, rattling the glass in its frame.
Don't want to interrupt, but listeners right now will be able to hear the police chopper.
Yeah.
That regularly comes by here, presumably to make sure no one's growing weed.
Yeah. Or looking for Susan.
Or, well, I like to think they're finding Susan.
I mean, we've told them she's nowhere near it. But, they won't listen.
7 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. PST. So, finding Susan. David John.
The teenager falls back from the now damaged window. So he sort of falls back in sort of shock and then goes again to look at the window. And he can't see the figure at all anymore. So the figure's gone. After looking in vain through the sort of cracked glass for the figure, he hears like a low chuckle from the back of his room.
No.
So he turns, so the entire rear of the room is now in utter darkness despite the lights being on. A darkness which seems to spread across the walls like mould. Out from the darkness steps a cloaked figure. As it walks forward towards the terrified teenager, its cloak falls away as if attached to the spreading darkness. This reveals a tall, black-antlered, white, skinless male figure. So when I say white, I mean he's a colour of like a birch tree. So just like a birch, ashen sort of white.
And you say with black antlers?
With black antlers.
Very nice. Yeah. Lovely touch.
His flesh is the colour of a birch tree, white and ashen. I've already covered that. He walks elegantly with arms that reach far below his waist.
Silver birch.
Silver birch, yes.
Just for clarity.
Yeah, good catch. The teenager seems transfixed by the invader as he moves to him.
Sorry.
I got that one. I picked that one up.
Is the larch? Yeah, the larch, whatever. Yeah. Carry on, sorry.
It's the teenager seems transfixed by the invader as he moves to embrace him. Its arms enwrap the teenager and with a snarl, he holds him close as the teenager begins to struggle. So he seems almost like mesmerised for a moment. And as his arms kind of go around him, he almost seems to like wake.
Snap out of it.
Yeah. But eventually he succumbs to the creature's strength. So he struggles, but the tightness of the grip, he just sort of like the fight sort of leaves him. As they embrace, the skin from the teenager starts to discolour and goes an odd clay colour as stretches unnaturally, almost like he's sort of melting but not
droopy. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, grim.
Slowly they sink down into the shadows of the floor, taking the darkness with them, leaving a well-lit empty room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sort of a fantasy Hellraiser almost.
Exactly, yeah.
Loving it.
We catch up with Jo as she sits in her bed with her girlfriend Hannah, who has come from Manchester to see how she is. They awkwardly discuss how long Jo will be away as she misses her, but there's a clear tension in the relationship due to the new distance between them. So imagine they've been together for a couple of years, and obviously she's gone back for a good reason, but it's still difficult for them.
Where's the conflict? Here's the conflict.
There we go.
There you go. Ask the question, answer the question.
Jo goes to kiss her girlfriend, but Hannah shrugs her off and goes outside for a cigarette instead, just to get a bit of space. Leaving Jo slumped on her bed, slightly upset and just a bit kind of morose and a bit sort of...
I like how it's a nice touch that she's smoking tobacco and not vaping.
Exactly, yes.
Old school.
Yeah. Down the hall, as Hannah leaves, we can hear Jo's ill mother coughing and spluttering from the bedroom that she's in. Just as a kind of reminder of the seriousness of it, but also it's still tough for them both.
Do we know what's wrong with her? Did you say what was wrong with her?
I left it quite open. I just put like a terminus. Yeah, just bad. You know, it's just rough, innit? Outside, Hannah lights up and sighs heavily, looking at the sky, playing with an iron metal pendant around her neck. A flickering moving light above catches her eye. It darts up across the sky but steadily gets closer. Calmly she watches it, assuming it's some kind of like firefly or whatever, taking long drags on a cigarette, until eventually it slams into the upstairs window, and Hannah sees it is a burning bird, one of the previously, fluttering and hitting the glass. She cries out to Jo to come down and see this, but getting no response, she runs up to see what's happening. She's like, fucking hell, there's a burning bird smashed into your window. Come and have a gander.
Uh-oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah. Hannah rushes into the room to see the tall, white, skinless gentleman walking from the darkness towards a dazed Jo. We see him clearer, as well as having short, light black antlers, he's also crowned with woven thorns. Hannah screams her girlfriend's name, which rouses Jo, who looks around frightened. Hannah throws a lamp at the invader, so like it's a side lamp, just fucking slams it right at him, which shatters across his face. He moves towards Hannah, snarls and stretches out with an elongated clawed hand. Hannah starts to move unwillingly towards the monster. The clawed hand touches her chest but recoils in horror as it pushes her pendant, forcing the skinless man to retreat for a moment. Strange bestial hands reach out from the shadows around the man, grasping for the two girls. Like strange sort of mix of hooves and hands and all kinds of stuff. Just grasp at them. Flailing, really. Jo grabs Hannah and they escape the house, running at full pelt down the street together. Jo screams, remembers that her mum is back there, and immediately turns back. So just literally bolts, realises, wordlessly just turns and just runs right back to the house. And Hannah's like desperately saying, just wait and stuff. Together they head back to the house while Hannah's calling the police as they go. They're told to wait by the police. It says don't go back into the house. Everything else, assume it's a normal intruder. But Jo grabs a loose brick and enters the house again. Reluctantly they creep upstairs together instead of waiting for the police. After slowly searching the house, they find no one there except a perfect wooden replica of Jo's dying mother in her bed, with IV tubes and wires feeding into the lifeless carving.
That's really cool.
So that's what we've got. I've gone all out with this one.
The mother.
Yeah, I've gone all out with this. There's some weird shit in it.
Well, there we go. I mean, that works out well for everybody. And they could maybe put that in the garden.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably want to take the IV tubes off it or whatever.
I mean, mate, the story's finished.
I mean, because you could give that a nice oil, a nice hard wood oil, and then, well, really bring it out.
Keep it looking good.
It will really bring the grain out.
We get a montage from Jo's POV of Hannah and the police talking to her to try and give them some idea of what happened in the room before Hannah got there. Hannah tries to convey how fucked up the guy looked who attacked them and presumably took Jo's mum. But it sounds ridiculous to the police, who try their best to rationalise it as an intruder.
Come on, love. That sounds ridiculous.
Exactly that. Well read, by the way.
Yeah. Don't think so, love. All right. So there were a man with antlers in the room.
They're both rolling their eyes heavily at this point.
Right. Write that down, Carl. He said they're saying. What did they say? They said there's a man with antlers in the corner and something about a black rug.
A couple of the detectives are very interested in the wooden carving left behind and take it as evidence. When the detectives take them, you get the impression that it's maybe that the wood carving's a slight tell for them. So there's a slight like...
Oh, so they maybe...
Yeah, so there's a glance between them.
Something's happened before.
That triggers like a little thing, but they don't mention it because you don't really tend to tell people that.
That's cool.
Eventually they're left alone in the house, so after some time has passed, with some police officers stationed outside. Jo is still motionless as she tries to deal with what happened. Hannah is on the internet researching, trying to find something that will shed some light on what happened to them. She discovers that there was a recent case involving a wooden replica of a missing teenager. This detail was not in the actual media sort of like reports of such things. They only find this detail from the father of the missing boy, who'd been posting on Reddit about some legend about a man who takes people and leaves carved effigies in their place. As Hannah relays all of this, Jo awakens from her stupor and they message the man immediately and arrange meeting him. It appears that other people have also responded to this guy on the forum, people in similar cases, all of whom have been similarly sort of like affected. Hannah said she'll meet Jo there. She has to sort out a few things first, but she's going to meet them there. And they both lose the cops and make their way to this guy's house. They meet the missing boy's father, Clive. Sean Pertwee.
Love it.
It's got to be Pertwee, yeah. Honestly, Pertwee would actually smash this role.
Sean, listen, let's talk.
He's an older man and slightly wrong-footed by their relationship straight from the beginning. So when they went to come to the door, right. He's not overtly so, but he's a little bit like, okay, it's all fine.
Yeah.
2020, isn't it? It's all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit like that about it.
Gotcha.
But soon he rants about a King Evelyn, who is said to hold dominion over Cumbria and invites people to his court. The women react confused as what he is trying to say, as the creature they saw was a violent one and obviously trying to hurt them. So he's kind of going, no, look, this is a king of the area, and
right,
he's got a reason. He's inviting people back to his kingdom. It's not.
It's
not
all perfectly fine. Yeah, it's not. Don't let the scary, freaky, non-consensual nature of any of it freak you out.
He's definitely
all fine.
He's definitely a bit worrying.
Okay.
Clive gets up and leads them to their son's empty, untouched bedroom, where he reveals a wooden statue of his son laying on the bed. Clive responds with his son Thomas from the scene earlier, and many others are all right as they are in King Evelyn's court, dancing and making merry. They shouldn't worry, because that's where Jo's mum is now. And obviously knowing she was ill, she's fine. She's okay now.
They're all dancing together in King Evelyn's court. Well, that's lovely.
Yeah. The girls never told him about Jo's mother, so he'd obviously been following the case himself.
Right,
so he's obviously been picking up stuff from the newspapers. And that, again, is a bit of a red flag.
She's now dancing.
Yeah.
In the court.
Which is a bit of a red flag, because they've only just given the basic exchange of messages and stuff.
All of it's flag. All of it's fucking red flags.
Yeah, I mean, this story's called Red Flag Factory. I mean, that's what, as its worker title. But he also tells them that he will help them that he has helped them and other people left behind to find King Evelyn's court themselves, and that they had to go by Hard Knot's Pass, as that is the only road to get there. It's clear that they aren't the first people to contact him, as he says that the burning birds don't think about the people close to the ones they choose, but he helps them find their lost loved ones. So the ones left behind, he sees himself as a kind of like middleman now.
Right, a go-between.
Yeah, because he's like, well, I've lost my son, but I can help people get to King Evelyn's court myself. Fucking Clive. Clive then becomes increasingly excitable, so much so that he even grabs Hannah's arm slightly too hard and tells her that King Evelyn may even help fix the two of them. And maybe she would like Thomas once this was all done, so he doesn't get lonely. He's a little bit, what I mean?
He basically, right, he's come up to you and he's got a bag and he's opened the bag. He's like, he's gone, do you want to see what I've got?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, what have you got? And he goes, red flag. And then he goes to go in again.
Yeah.
Another red flag.
And he's put him out
even bigger red
flag.
There's one under my hat. There's one in my sleeve. What's this in my pocket? Oh, another red flag. What's behind your ear?
And then he goes, what's that behind you? And turn back and he's a red flag.
Yeah.
Just in
with
coat.
a massive erection.
I like all red flags. So, yeah, and he tells them that she would like Thomas once that was done, and he did it so he wouldn't get lonely. Hannah punches him. The two women rush out of there, with Clive nursing a split lip, ranting as they leave. So he's kind of shouting after them, going, it's all going to be all right. But he's nursing a split lip because Hannah's fucking lamped the cunt. Basically.
There you go.
So, with a bit of research, they find Hard Knot's Pass in the National Park of Cumbria. And they camp as close as they can, because you can camp in those sort of areas. Not directly near it, but you can camp near enough. They make their way to the area with backpacks and torches to go and rescue Jo's mum. Because right now, there's nothing. The police aren't believing them. They've got no other options. They know where they've gone. They've got something to work with. Hannah tries to broach the subject that the dying woman may not have survived being taken, but Jo shuts her down and tells her that she will go alone if Hannah doesn't think this is worthwhile. Hannah, clearly hurt, says that she's committed to this and will follow Jo wherever it leads. Upon hearing this, they hold each other for a few moments before heading out. So that's where we are. That's where we are.
They very readily accepted the explanation of Mr. Red Flags.
You would have to put some scenes there where there's a bit of back and forth and stuff.
Yeah, I think you would want Hannah to be like, look, even if you accept that it's slightly fantastical or supernatural, there's nothing to suggest it's some amazingly benign supernatural thing.
I think one thing...
they've just been taken for a bit of fun. They're all fine somewhere else.
What I think you'd have to do is you'd have to do a more back and forth between Clive and Hannah and Jo, where they're like, no, this is fucking sinister. We've seen the guy. You haven't seen him. And then he's going, no, it's fine. So you would have to... That scene would have to do a lot of heavy lifting. It would take a very good scriptwriter. They venture out into the dying light across the sparse landscape. Hard Knot Pass lies in a valley where a dense fog obscures their view. They turn on their torches, which help to some extent, but they get an impression of animals moving around them as they go further into the gloom. They keep walking and notice that there are large trees hanging overhead, blocking the sort of like the sun in the sky now. Hannah comments that Hard Knot's Pass is just grassland, and they must have walked too far, but their compasses and phones offer no help at all.
There we go. That tells you
so
all you need
they're walking
to know.
into a wood, and there wasn't a wood there before. It's just grassland, as far as I can see, mate. So
used to be a home base.
It did, yeah. No, a real flagship store, wasn't it? A red flagship store, if you will. Hey, that's what you keep going back for, listeners. The fog thins out as notice burning lanterns hanging above them. Notice that Hannah's metal pendant is now vibrating so much it appears almost blurred, as almost if he doesn't like to be there.
Have we got detail on the metal pendant?
Yes, it's going to come up later on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. For the moment, it's just metal.
Yeah, I mean, it is a kind of like steel, like iron steel sort of thing. It's iron.
What does it look like?
I had in my head, you know, those sort of like goth, but a bit more like...
Sort of goth isn't really
like
a shape,
metal.
though, is it? We've already established that it's some sort of metal.
I mean, the kind of like, there's a certain like alternative fashion metal to go a bit like Nordic.
Okay.
So there's like kind of like basics of arrowhead shapes and
okay. We got there in the end. So it's sort of like an arrowhead.
Trying to hold my feet to the fire on this one.
Well,
yeah, in my head it's really clear actually. But I didn't write it.
Sort of an arrowhead then, made of iron.
Yeah, it is iron. It's the kind of thing you'd buy from like Camden, that kind of thing. You know the kind of thing I mean, listeners.
Oh yeah, all our listeners will know.
Yeah.
Gothy that you might get in
sort of like
Camden
alternative
Market.
metal fan sort of thing. Blew it Nordic.
I love how you're really struggling with just like, it's sort of square or circle or triangle or a rectangle.
You know, one of those shapes.
Yeah, but instead, a bit gothy. Sort of gothy with a sort of hint of moody edges.
Exactly.
Very moody edges.
Yeah.
It?
Ahead they see a deer with its head bowed low. Joe walks ahead to carefully approach it because it does see nothing except trees and lanterns.
Just thinking dinner.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's already got a knife and fork out. As she gets closer, it's clear that the deer is furless and its skin is like that of a person. So it's like a kind of pink, sort of hairless.
Oh, that's grim.
Yeah, as it slowly raises its head to reveal human eyes staring out from a deformed...
that's so fucking wrong.
Yeah, deformed hybrid human face with tiny pinprick pupils staring out madly. It stares at Joe with tears running down its face.
Oh, that is fucking horrible.
Hannah catches up and recalls in horror as Joe reaches out to comfort the deranged and clearly upset creature.
Fucking hell.
As its fingers brush its twisted features, it shrieks and bolts into the strange forest. Hannah and Joe both sort of scream and sort of step back and swing their torches around to show that other deformed creatures have begun to like surround them. They are all the same mockery of woodland creatures, but with recognisable human features and skin. They all cry out and reach for the women. As they get closer, a deep mocking laugh rings out through the trees, and the menagerie of deformities retreats into the shadows, but not too far away. So they're clearly still there, but they're sort of on the sort of edge of vision, as it were. The voice now beckons them to announce themselves to their king and his court, and a line of hanging lanterns flare with fire to show them the way. Joe grips the torch tightly, squares her backpack, and takes Hannah's hand, and they walk together to face King Eveling. They find the mythical ruler sitting relaxed on a wooden throne with writhing, sobbing, humanoid figures at his feet. Almost like a kind of like a living rug, almost. Welcome to the both of you. I am sure you would not want to offend your king by forgoing the customary courtesy, or has Albion changed so much that she raises daughters with so little respect? He casually waves his hand at them both. I would allow one of you to bow if that makes you feel more comfortable, he says while grinning. He's a bit of a prick, this guy. Joe steps forward, tells him to fuck off and demands her mother back. He says that Lorraine now has the honour of being part of his court in Joe's absence. Because obviously he went to get Joe initially. Although he's happy that two such lovely girls have shown their eagerness to compel them to bring themselves to him. He stands up, revealing his white ashen body, and steps forward atop the writhing figures who sort of moan in like strange sort of mewing sounds of each of the steps.
Mate, I mean, the visuals alone of this stuff would be
It's a lot, this one.
Tough. But amazing. I mean, it's just so minging.
Yeah, it is.
It's so minging.
This one, I don't know.
I think I would struggle. I'd struggle to watch it, but
Yeah.
I'm quite gleeful about it in some way.
Again, he demands that they show him the respect that his position demands, this time with a creeping seriousness in his tone. Hannah looks around at the creeping monstrosities in the shadows and at his feet and asks the king what they are. So he sort of like looks at the creatures and goes, what are these things?
Right, I didn't get it from when you said
yeah.
the same thing. But yeah, okay.
Why, they are my court, my playthings. They have the duty to occupy and entertain their king, he says, smiling. Their bodies are mine to sculp and enjoy, as will yours be, my flower. He beckons a figure to his side. Its human skin is pulled taut over a swine-like body with a twisted spine and overly long limbs. It's almost like a kind of cross between like a giraffe and a pig. It catches eyes with Hannah and mews in sob and fear. Evelyn pulls his cloak around himself and grabs the creature's face. He then stretches its neck and shortens its body so it resembles more of a kind of giant weasel kind of creature. He just morphs it in front of him.
Yeah.
But painfully and...
Yeah, it's like...
It is horrible.
This is going to be quite a long... sequence.
It would need some good Foley work as well for, like, the cracking of sinew and stuff. The two women stare in horror for a moment before Joe calls him a sick fuck and swings for him with the torch. He flings the weasel creature away into the shadows and grabs the torch, crushing it before smashing Joe backwards. She falls hard. Hannah moves forward, but Evelyn grabs her throat and raises her up. He says that they have forever in his court and should not be so eager to madden their king. He carefully grabs a pendant from Hannah's neck, which causes his skin to sizzle and smoke. He rips it from her and throws it into the dark. He commands one of his courtiers to dispose of that, as iron is forbidden in his realm. He then throws her hard to the ground next to Joe. So shall we try this again, girls? A curtsy or a bow will suffice. The girls look to each other, and Joe says they will show him respect, and they also have a gift for their king. So they should have show like a fake fealty. Well, shall we see what it is, and then we can see if we can't forget that little lapse just now. They stand. Joe spits blood from her mouth and they both curtsy before him. Evelyn steps forward with his arms outstretched if he's going to embrace them, smiling broadly. They then unsling their backpacks and Hannah pulls out a vibrating iron arrowhead and sinks it deep into the king's thigh. He howls in anger as Joe swings a steel wrench under his chin, forcing him back. So they've come prepared. So in the interim, they've done some research which the audience hasn't seen, but that's what Hannah was doing at some point.
Sneaky.
Yeah. The surrounding creatures advance in anticipation. Joe presses her attack and smashes him around the face with the wrench, making the king's face hiss and rip with each blow. Hannah calls out that they need to know where Lorraine is, but Joe ignores her and keeps smashing at his face. Some of the writhing figures turn from the floor to reveal featureless faces as they reach out blindly, grasping at Joe. So they are literally just being morphed into a living carpet. That's all their role is in this. Some of the writhing figures turn from the floor to reveal featureless faces as they reach out blindly, grasping at Joe. So sort of like grasp at her ankles and stuff, or kind of feet wrists.
Sure, yeah, foot wrists.
This gives Evelyn a moment to rally, and he grabs her wrist and twists her skin, and bone shattering her lower arms. He just sort of twists it, just completely to twist it.
Yeah,
like a really bad sort of Chinese burn, basically. The steel wrench falls to the floor as Evelyn snarls through his ruined face. Hannah moves forward, but Evelyn rules for everybody to bow before him immediately with such ferocity. Everybody drops to their knees except Joe, who is hanging by her destroyed arm from his hand. Evelyn pants in fury and looks around at his silent court as a dear creature from before trots into the clearing. It casts a look at the kneeling Joe and through sad eyes reveals that she is in fact Lorraine. The king is speechless in surprise as one of his prisoners...
You should have had her as a quiche.
Okay, I'll read it again. A quiche trots into the clearing.
No, a quiche is carried into the clearing.
With its sad eyes, it lets everybody know.
It turns out the quiche is Lorraine.
I don't even like quiche.
Not a big fan.
No, it's horrible,
I'm not with you. It's a lot of egg.
I'm very, very, very choosy about how I eat my egg. I have it scrambled, but I won't have it poached.
I just won't have it. I just fucking won't have it.
I have left a lot of breakfasts.
I've seen you toss tables over at a restaurant before.
Yeah.
When you got poached.
Fucking bringing me poached? Who you think you are?
3DK. It was a Burger King kids party.
But you know what? I can make the shit out of scrambled though, mate. Oh, I got good. It really does sing.
So yeah, we're not doing the quiche, but it is a great pun.
Yeah, it is. So it casts a look at the kneeling Hannah and through sad eyes reveals that she is in fact Lorraine. The king is speechless in surprise at one of his prisoners having the audacity to even approach him like this. The Lorraine deer nuzzles against Joe's dangling other hand. This distracts even long enough for one of the other creatures to press Hannah's pendant into her hand, so her hands are behind her, and then so the creature sort of nuzzles it into her hand. With this, he lunges forward and shoves the iron jewellery into the wound on the king's thigh. He drops Joe and howls in agony and starts frantically clawing at the hissing wound. Hannah grabs the badly wounded Joe and runs through the parting crowd of creatures. Around him the trees shake with Evelyn's pain and anger. She risks one look back as the Lorraine deer rears up and slams her hooves down on the king, forcing him to the ground, and the other creatures surround him. They escape together, but Joe's arm is clearly beyond saving. We end on a shot of the two women holding each other as the sun comes over the horizon on a sort of empty clearing of sort of Hard Knocks Pass. A burning crow sits on a branch watching them from a distance before flying off. And that's the end, mate.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of that one, isn't it?
Hello there. Thank you for your time and patience. Here we are. Welcome to Act 4.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, mate, amazing.
Thank you very much.
I really liked it. I love all the ideas. The only non-positive thing I would say is, as a movie, it would need more in that middle act.
I agree.
So you've got the beginning and the end down pat, but you actually explicitly said we wanted to leave their expertise or knowledge that they'd learned and the things they procured as a surprise. So we'd have to find something else, and I think it's Red Flag Man.
Yeah.
I think there's something there.
I'd also want the bit when Joe's kind of out of it for a while and Hannah's on the computer researching and that's how she finds Clive. I'd want to maybe put some hint that she's already getting an idea of what's happening.
Yes.
So that's why she's a little bit ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And then in the interim, her and Joe have formulated a plan. But unbeknownst to the audience.
I think there's loads of space in that middle act. But anyway, no need to get bogged down in that because it was, the ideas were amazing. The end, I mean, wow, that final kind of body horror.
Yeah,
I guess it is body horror.
Yeah.
But it's so I mean, maybe it's my personal thing. I remember seeing it, I think it's maybe Warlock or Warlock 2.
Yeah.
If anyone's seen them from the 80s. But in one of them, he turns a guy into a living piece of modern art.
Nice.
But like a vase, I think it is. And it's all like kind of mush of colours and shapes because it's him all mushed out. And it's got one eyeball showing and it's moving around.
Yeah, that's cool.
So he's still sort of alive and conscious.
I wanted to show that the humanity.
This horrific thing. And that's always stuck with me for like 30 years.
Yeah, it's grim.
Yeah, it is grim.
Yeah,
it is grim. I've never rewatched it. And I can still see that scene clear as day in my mind. Anyway, so yeah, your last act. I'd find it really hard, but I think go for it. Yeah,
so King Evelyn himself is actually a folklore elven king of Cumbria, of which very little is actually known about. I was going to write basically a thing about fairy folk. And then it became...
I don't think that's not considered PC anymore, John. That's very old-fashioned terminology. Very old-fashioned terminology. But hey, you be you. And then people will either go for it or not.
Of course. So
you're going to do about a Fae.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And
but I believe that's the politically correct term.
I've got a lot to learn from you. In my mind, the bit with the crows is basically a spell. It's essentially a sacrifice spell that he does just to find victims. Yeah. Essentially, just to farm people. And the fact that Clive sends people to him is an added bonus. It's not planned.
Yeah, okay.
Just some dad who's lost his fucking mind.
Yeah. Your opening scenes has got a scare.
Yeah.
But then, are we okay that we're just going to do a slow burn for the first two acts, 2.5 acts?
Because in my mind, what essentially...
Because that's where Clive could be really useful. His bag of red flags could have, a bit more flesh, a few more scenes where maybe we don't get the red flags on the first meet. Maybe on the first meeting, actually, it seems really hopeful.
That's a good idea, actually. To make it
and they're like, oh my god, thank god somebody's going to help. Somebody's listening and believes this. And better still, seems to know more about it. Yeah. And then other stuff happens, a few other scenes. And then boom, they meet again.
Yeah.
And maybe that gives you a sort of all is lost kind of vibe. When you see the red flags happen and you think, fuck, that was our only
I agree.
hope. And now it turns out he's a fucking nut job.
Because I was trying to write essentially that each act has its own flavour of horror. So in the first act, you've got a kind of vampire-esque Nightmare on Elm Street, ghostly figure sort of thing. Act 2 has a very much more grounded psychopath, Clive's fucking a nut job. And then the end scene has body horror.
A nut job and is fucking one as well. Body horror.
The scene with the teenager in the bedroom, I originally wrote as a vampire story. That one scene, and then I got to the end of that scene and then thought, no, I want to do something more than this. That got dropped very quickly. There's also like a little bit of anti-royal stuff in there, which certain things in the news also bled into.
Don't ruin it. Leave it like a pre-internet piece of good music. Good song, good artistry from pre-internet days.
Of course.
Where you hadn't followed them from like birth.
Of course.
Because that's the thing. I don't know if we were talking about this before, but Simon Cowell's, he's working on this new X Factor. But instead of like getting them when they're 16, like it starts when they're still in utero.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're still in the womb. And it's essentially the mothers,
Yeah.
heavily pregnant mothers,
Yeah.
competing for their children to enter a sort of conveyor belt of sort of trashy, disposable pop stars.
It is the natural next step for him. It's the only place he can go at this point. And I think Prince Andrew's a judge in that, isn't he?
Yes, Prince Andrew, well, that's why he hasn't been collaborating with the FBI.
Busy. Yeah, he's been doing like rehearsals.
He's been doing...
They have to fucking wait.
Because it's Simon Cowell, Prince Andrew, I think David Williams is back.
Yeah, he'll do anything, won't he?
I think he's collaborating on his next kids' book with Prince Andrew. And it might be a rumour.
Oh, fingers crossed, guys.
I can't. Who is the last judge? Is it Danny Ziggy from Danzig?
I know Amanda Holden's doing the kind of after show special.
I think that it was rumoured it was going to be. I think it's going to be Mark Knopfler. I think again it might just be a rumour.
Yeah.
But. He's been quite quiet lately.
He has. He's definitely been keeping out of the public eye.
I mean, some say he's in dire straits. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
But, and that's why he's had to do the Preg Factor.
Yeah.
Anyway, names then?
The working title was Burning Crows, which is really on the nose.
Burning Crows.
Which is what the working title was.
I mean, it's not. It's got the mystique.
Yeah.
The sort of, what's that all about?
King's Court,
King in the Woods. King of the fucking Walkway. There's Mr. Balloon Hands. King of the Forest. Royal Forest.
Bastard King.
I mean, that's quite good, but might be a bit difficult distribution-wise. Yeah. Different countries, some people don't love that.
Oh yeah, because like in some countries, bastard's not the right term, is it? Burning Feathers, Flames of...
Royal Birds?
Royal Birds is nice. It's got a little bit of like a double meaning, but a second meaning you might not want.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the right pair of birds than this. Do you know what I mean?
Right pair of royal birds.
Yeah. Oi, oi!
Oi! What, darling?
I like the word court. I want the word court in there.
Yeah, what did I say? Royal birds. Bird court.
This week on Bird Court.
This week on Bird Court.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. It's followed by a lot of tweeting.
I would genuinely love that. That's brilliant.
Who's the judge, though? Is it a bird judge? Oh, it'd be an owl.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
an owl.
I didn't think even to say it out loud, man.
Of course, cuckoos would always be in the dock because don't they throw other birds' eggs out?
Every case is that.
Yeah,
and it's just a smashed egg for exhibit.
Cuckoo court. And it's like every episode's like, well, did they? Didn't they? Well, if they didn't do it this time, they fucking done it to somebody.
Yeah, they're cuckoos.
That's what they do. But then you get accused of profiling.
Yeah.
You can't be seen to be profiling cuckoos, even if they do naturally throw eggs out the nest of other birds.
This is my man business walking past a broken shell.
Fairy King, Fairy Court, Fairy Forest, Forest Fairies, King Fae,
Court in a King, Court in the King, King's gone a courting.
Skin Games, Manky Skin Animals.
You could call it Royal Court, but spell it Caught. What about
Human Rug? Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. It's like Skin Market.
Human Rug. The King's Forest?
Deer People. And spell it deer as in DEER.
Yeah.
Flaming Bird Window. Human Critters. People Critters. People Puppets. Skin Meat. Skin Animals. No, people.
It's like watching Hendrix play.
People Animals.
Burning Court?
No, yeah, but the court doesn't burn. But yeah, I mean, it sounds better than most of the combos we've come up with. What was the king's name?
The humans aren't puppets.
That's what I'm saying. Well, what was the king's name?
Evelyn.
Evelyn's War?
Evening, ladies.
Evelyn ladies. That's good.
Yeah.
Evelyn ladies. Into the Forest? Oh, no, that's the name of a thing.
Yeah, it says, Into the Woods. My least favourite musical. And I've not seen Cats. I love musicals, by the way. It's not like, I hate all of them.
Have you seen Tina? Seen that?
No, I haven't. What's Tina?
It's Tina Turner musical.
Oh, no, I don't know.
What about, what about, I think there's one called Whitney.
Yeah, I've seen that's my favourite. Seen it 6 times.
That's the only one you've seen.
What about Tina?
You seen the Michael Jackson one? I thought you loved musicals. I think pretty much all of these are on right now up the road in the West End.
I've seen one jukebox musical, and that was the Meatloaf one, and it wasn't bad.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting off topic. Let's try and get this name locked down. I think there might be something in Evelyn.
Yeah.
Evelyn's Throne.
Evelyn's Court.
Evelyn's Friends. King Fae. King Fae is quite cool.
King Fae, yeah, King Fae I like. I like King Fae.
Oh, you like King Fae?
No, I like King Fae.
Wow. I think we might have something here. That's right. Well, he defecated, but the camera pans up at that point. Yeah. That wasn't in the...
Yeah, you've stolen that straight from Mary Poppins, because that's what happened in that.
A lot of people haven't seen that deleted scene. We signed NDAs about seeing that. We saw a mucky pop. Like now you've breached the NDA.
I mean, I've refilmed my own version, stick it on the end when we watch it at home, because the kids need to know. Honestly,
these are quite watertight non-disclosure agreements. But as I say, now that you've broken it,
they know who they hired. I'm a maverick.
It's a mucky Poppins. That's in the end,
I was popping that way.
The director's cut of Mary Poppins, those deleted scenes. Yeah. It was a different film.
It's strange how the last shot can change the tone of all the preceding shots very, very drastically.
Who knew? And they were all quite damaged afterwards. Other than, obviously, Julie Andrews.
She took it to stride, didn't she?
Well, she was the one wielding the axe.
Yeah. I remember she just glanced at me, sipped a coffee and walked on. Didn't even...
You were on the set? Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this is... And what was she like back then?
She was lovely.
Ooh.
She was enchanting, I must admit.
Because didn't she used to always come to the set with two horses?
Yes, originally it was 2 horses, then it was 1 horse, and no one ever mentioned it.
Yeah, well, that was famously the thing you were never supposed to even reference.
Yeah.
Not even to other people.
I remember I once asked the director, where's the other horse? And he just looked at me for a few beats, and that was it. Never came up again.
Yeah. You didn't work with him anymore.
Yeah, no.
After that job.
Well, I mean...
So... Yeah, but so tell us more about the defecation scene now, because that was obviously quite a surprise to see that.
I remember, I thought it went well on the day. I thought
so. It was written in script,
mate. I mean, as good as I am, I can't pretend that I can just improv that. It was workshop rehearsed.
I think that's obviously one of your things is that. It's a lot like Stuart Lee, the comedian. A lot of it seems very off the cuff. It seems like he's just come up with it on the night, but actually it is a lot of work. It's so much work, and it's word perfect. Yeah. It's
a lot of support from my family, right? Because they know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so you would have the storyboarding. You're known for storyboarding stuff to the nth degree.
I was living that scene for weeks.
You got who's the guy? I forget his name, but the guy that did all the original Lord of the Rings artwork. You had him in, didn't you? Concept art for all those scenes.
Oh, is it Alan
Alan
Dale, I think it was. Yeah, he sketched it. He made it look more beautiful. He showed me how it could look, and that gave me the confidence to really
go for it. Yeah. I mean, some of those close shots.
Yeah.
No one did that again until John Waters, I think, in Pink Flamingo, where he had that scene.
Yeah.
Where his character picks up a dog shits and in
Divine, one of my students. Yeah,
Divine. That's it.
Yeah,
So
it was a nod.
And she picks up a fresh dog shit and eats it. And it's very... I thought... Do you know what? I felt a little bit bad for you, because I remember even now, John Waters is sort of remembered or known in some ways for that scene. And I thought, well, that actually was him stealing your thunder a bit. Not intentionally, because you cut the scene.
I'm happy that my legacy is out there, because before that...
Julie Andrews, in hindsight, probably wouldn't have worked much.
No.
After that,
no,
I mean, because it was grim, niche. There would have been a really strong, very small video market aftermarket.
Because to be fair, the only legacy I thought that scene had was that Dick Van Dyke swore that he would never dance again when it happened, and I thought that's not the legacy I wanted. But then Divine came along and she made it clear that I was a big influence, and that really helped me. Really got me through the late 80s and 90s.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know that the reason Dick Van Dyke digged in his later life. I mean, he's obviously still alive, but in his much later career, he did Diagnosis Murder, the TV show, very much because it was filmed in a real hospital, and he could get a lot of psychiatric help still from the Julie Andrews. Shitting scene from Mary Poppins.
Well, I mean, I've got to make this very clear. This has gone on for a long time. Julie Andrews was in the scene. She wasn't shitting.
Oh.
No.
She had a sort of shit double.
Yeah.
A shitty double.
There's a film technique called a Texas switch, which is when you replace the actor with a stunt double.
Right.
Julie Andrews wouldn't shit on camera.
Right.
I mean,
she just couldn't go.
No. She
tried.
She wrote a lot of checks that she couldn't quite cash when it came to it.
She was all mouth and no trousers.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she can do everything else.
Yeah.
The thing is that they say triple threat.
Of course.
A lot of us that work behind the scenes know that there's a quadruple threat.
Yeah. That is defecation. It's the string. It's a string to any true actor's bow.
Can you sing? Can you dance? Can you act? Can you defecate on cue? There's a market for it.
Yeah.
And it's the real test of an actor's mettle.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of directors use it. Again, you don't see it on screen a lot.
No, but you can tell a film where it's heavily implied.
Do you know, you see it a bit, but not a lot, and it's because it's something that's done in screen tests all the time.
Yeah.
So, again, you might have seen it in, there's just a famous Mark Hamill screen test of Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch it to the end, there's a huge amount of defecation. But they both do it easy.
Yeah. That's how they knew that they
like
had easy chemistry.
It's just like someone's just opened the bomber's doors.
The world falls out of Harrison dust, isn't it?
It's the confidence.
Yeah. What I find sad about the current state of films now is it's always done in post now. They don't do a lot of stuff with practical stuff. It's all in post.
Exactly. It's disappointing because you can tell, can't you?
I mean, I can tell. But some of the audiences can't.
You can tell because you were like the sort of...
Yeah.
You were the guy. You were the guy everyone went to.
It's frustrating when you see an audience come out and go, my God, that defecating scene was top notch. And you go... It was done in post.
Yeah, they pour muddy water over a blue balloon. and then they just digitally insert it. Remove the blue balloon, put it on the face.
Green Swiss roll. There's a lot of techniques.
So, anyway,
names.
The thing about the quadruple threat is that 3 of them are like metaphorical threats, and the 4th one is
a threat. It's a threat made real, mate. I would say King Fae is quite good. I quite like King Fae.
Look, I'm happy to call it Burning Groves.
All right.
If you want to call it Burning Groves.
King Fae.
King Fae?
Yeah, that's what's won, guys. That's what's won. I hope some of you are happy with that.
We can all hear that no pressure is applied from me. John came to that conclusion on his own, clearly recognising the superior name.
Well done, Dave.
And on that note, if you do have a better one...
I don't know how you could, but okay.
Tweet us at LMAHMPod, LMAHMPod.
Yep.
Email us at letsmakeahorrormovie@gmail.com, and you'll get into Act 1. Instagram us somehow.
Yeah,
or just come and follow us on Instagram, maybe.
Comment on our pictures.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
interact, I suppose. Yeah. Got any funny pandemic anecdotes? Send them in. Let's put brave face on quite a grim situation.
Yeah, any of your pandomics. I don't know what that
Oh, your pan jokes? No. Pan banter icks? Oh,
Yeah.
anyway. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been good.
Get in touch and or join us next week.
Yeah, we'll do both.
Yeah, do both. Get in touch and join us next
And
week.
rate and reviews on iTunes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, please do rate and review us on iTunes. It's nice to get a little written review. I think that probably does something in the algorithms.
Thanks to people who already have. Very kind of you.
That'd be very nice. If you want rewarded for that, just, say what you want. You can choose between... I've got some blue string. You can have some blue string. Oh, actually, if anyone wants them, I've got a copy of False Value by Ben Aranovich, because I pre-ordered and then pre-ordered again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, email us or whatever. But it is the 8th book in a series. Also, I have a Horus Heresy book I've doubled up again. Slaves to Darkness and Titan Death. So book 52 or 53. If anyone needs a copy of them...
Whoa, guys, slow down. I'm going to only give it to one of you.
Don't all rush at once. I've only got one copy of those two books.
They're going to go fucking mad, mate. Bye.
Let's make a horror movie, everyone.